Hello, thanks for taking the time to tune in my channel. I know there's a ton of indicators out there and we all have our preference, but I have to tell you, Oros is remarkably different. It's different in the way that it applies to the line. It's different on your experience. It is better in many ways. First, let's talk about what you're using now. How often have you lost that little black cap? I have to tell you, when I was using those, I was going through more of those caps than I were indicators. Next, how often does that twist up when you're using it, right? And now your leader's kind of all screwed up and you're having to tie on a new leader. Well, this particular indicator answers that question, or solves that problem, I should say. The Oros indicator goes right down the center of the line, and just the pressure of the two spheres screwed together is what keeps it in place. And if you need to move it, you can move it without any type of marks or any type of damage to your fly line. You can move that anywhere up and down the fly line, tighten the two spheres up, and your leader is still perfect, right? So these indicators are better. They're easier to use, right? There's not having to screw on that tiny little cap. There's not having to try to apply anything like you do with the New Zealand style indicators. You don't have to worry about the wool getting wet, right? And drawn underwater, and you're constantly drying that out. These things float great. They're also super lightweight. There is nothing else on the market. Even the company that attempted to copy the Oros indicator is about 30 to 40% heavier, depending on the size of indicator, than Oros. So you get a nice light presentation, but they're super buoyant as well, because we want to use indicators to keep all of our flies up above, right? You don't want that being pulled down under the surface. Oros is super, super buoyant. And really the best reason to support this company is not just because of the performance aspect, which is better than any indicator that I've ever used, but it's because it's a family run and operated company. I'm not saying that right. For some reason, I can't say that. Family owned and operated. There you go. Family owned and operated company out of Montana. Patrick innovated this indicator. It's patent pending, and it really is the best indicator out there today. So if you haven't discovered Oros, or haven't used it yet because you're just stuck using that same old indicator that you've been using for years, give Oros a try. I promise you, once you do, you're never gonna look back, right? Even after a conversation I had with Patrick about coming out with a size that steelheaders could use, something really big that keeps those super heavy weighted stoneflies and egg patterns afloat, he designed an oversized indicator. And then when another person gave, hey, I just need something a little bit smaller, he came out with a marshmallow size tiny indicator if you're just doing those single nib, super delicate presentations and you need something very light. Every base is covered with Oros, and if you haven't seen them, you should take a look and support this family-owned and operated company out of Montana. All right, I'll get off my soapbox, and if you need a little help choosing the right flies, I put a video together right here. These are all of my confidence flies that work every single time, specifically for trout. All right, everybody, until the next time, fish on.